Being here on the studio lot at Arizona Film Studios has really been quite a blessing in disguise for low-budget independent filmmakers. They really worked with us quite a bit.
And I had no idea this studio was here. I mean, it's been here for many, many, many years. But when I came on out here to see the place for the first time, I was kind of blown away by how elaborate a lot of the sets were, the Wild West sets, the different options that were available, and how quickly they could put up these massive sets that just look fantastic.
It was amazing with a film that has 60 some odd locations to be able to have it all compact in a couple of different sound stages. If you've ever filmed on a sound stage where you've actually had a chance to build sets as an independent filmmaker, you will love it. I mean, the sound is generally very, very good. The access to having everything there, wardrobe, hair, and everyone being in a comfortable environment. 95% of this film is interiors. It's amazing. The art department has worked so hard to create this very rich look for the movie, and if it wasn't for having the chance to film on a soundstage, we never would have been able to get that. A really great example of all the set turning that the art department did was they took the original basement, which is the Tamerlane basement where the big ending for the movie happens, and it's got all the surgical equipment and some of the torture stuff going on in it. But then that room completely changed into the basement of the Tech Industries building. Shelves and all the junk that you see in the basement, I mean, it reads so well. And then half of that room became the incinerator room where we burned Mike Yancey's body in the beginning of the movie when we cremate him. And then that changed again to the passageway, the sewer system that connects the Tamerlane building and the Tech Industries building.
And then, of course, our wonderful paper mache. Yeah, you always thought what the heck you were gonna do with paper mache. This is what happens when you're doing paper mache right here. This is what they teach you in preschool.
So basically that whole area in a little under 3 weeks became 3 different sets for us. 4 different sets actually for us. And it's the magic of the motion picture.
So that's
How are you boys and girls? Welcome to Netherbeast land. Let me show you around.
My favorite scene in the movie is the incineration scene where Turner and Otto are sitting there chattling idly about watching some corpse being dragged into an oven and with a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek.
Between you and me, I'm beginning to think that Mike was just a low-level operative in what appears to be a large network of the cursed and undead here at Tech Industries.
I love the entire opening sequence of the movie, which is what the short was, the short that this feature is based on. I think that's terrific and very, very funny.
Actually, it was the first scene where Otto comes into Turner's office and finds him sitting across the desk from a murdered man. And the fact that it was so low-key in the way it was written.
What happened to Mike? I apologize. I meant to clean that up.
I could immediately picture Daryl Hammond playing that part very well, or me, but Daryl Hammond had already been signed to do it. So then I thought, well, all right, is there another part?
I really like the meadow. The way it was originally written was going to be much more filled with plants and everything, and I don't know if it was Dean or Brian or who came up with the idea of actually having the backdrop with the trickling stream and all that, but I think it works great. I'm really pleased with that. I thought that turned out really well. And the bar also is really authentic looking, and I'd walked around this whole set for a while and didn't even realize that little area was back there.
And this is Tech Industries. This is going to be the entire bullpen. This will be full of cubicles. We'll have carpet laid out today. We'll have cubicles in here tomorrow. We'll get it all dressed, ready to go to shoot on, I believe we have something in here Tuesday.
The office area, the main office area with all the cubicles, is very similar to what I expected to see. So that was a nice surprise, because that was probably the first big set in walking in that I recognized as being, this is pretty much identical to the way it was in my mind.
I'm amazed by the fact that that was an entirely constructed set, that the walls are plywood and the cubicles are rented and there's no electricity and the vents don't work and none of the computers are working. So every time I see one of the scenes in the office with all the people walking around and all the extras, I mean, it's just like, it rings to me that it's true.
Oh, hi. So, do you see an office full of the undead?
On what now?
You do?
That there's too much stuff going
Where?
on the sides and not enough just through the middle.
Oh, yeah. There is an office full of the undead.
I have to say the bloody death at the end of the movie is a pretty wild effect. I think that it looks so realistic on screen, and you're like going, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Judd Nelson's death was a two-piece effect. An insert chest was made with a core that could be removed and gouged out, and the real gun pushed through. The hero moment was a fake gun that I had mounted onto Judd Nelson himself and tubed him up and pumped about 2 gallons of blood for the entire shot out of Judd Nelson.
Because the movie's a comedy, and then suddenly it gets really bloody and violent, and it really, when that happens on screen, you're like, wow.
Oh, that's a piss poor attitude. You are not a team player. Cranberry sauce.
Very funny about the whole situation. He's sitting in a pile of blood while everyone on set proceeded to take pictures. So I mean, it was really fun, and he was a good sport about it all.
I impaled Judd Nelson with a gun. It was a strange day. That was strange.
Oh yeah.
We're doing a ratchet, poor man's ratchet, with pulleys and mountain climbing gear. Did that make you nervous that I said a poor man's ratchet?
Like a T-bone, corn on the cob, some apple pie, and a cigarette.
Dead man walking.
Dead man flying. Bam!
Action. Action 2.
The flying was better than one might expect, and all proper concern was taken for my health and safety, and I want to thank everybody for that, because it wasn't as bad as what it sounded like.
I watched a man eat a foot. That was strange.
And so that'll be the piece that you will have on your fork, and you can put it in your mouth.
Give him some turkey, so like nice sliced turkey. It's kind of foot-like.
You know, when you spend your days with the corporate undead, there's a lot of strangeness that happens, just as part of life.
I'm glad we just ate lunch.
Yeah. I don't know, it's might bring it back up.
There's spine. There's some spine.
The feast was fun. I always, from the beginning, I liked the idea of having there be a head being a centerpiece, and I liked the idea that I came up and I posed it to the brothers, and they're like, yeah, let's do it, with an apple in his mouth. And so I created this whole fake head with an apple in its mouth. A foot doesn't have very much meat in it, and you know, if you were to really eat a human being, you would probably eat the foot first, but we throw little comical beats in the meal.
I'll be taking a bite of my own foot. That's the sacrifices I made for this. I let them take my foot so that I could eat it. It's one of those really independent projects.
Andy, the UPM, we took a cast of his foot, and the guy in the feast who's eating the foot is actually Andy, who's eating his own foot, which was really fun, and we tried very hard not to laugh during that take. That was a good one. That one's one to be remembered.